Hello and welcome to Never Seen It, a podcast about movies we haven't seen. I'm one of your hosts, Betsy, and with me is my husband and co-host, Trent.
Hey there.
Today we are rounding out the Oscar Best Picture nominees. We are on 10 of 10.
Last one.
We are watching West Side Story.
Steven Spielberg's West Side Story.
Steven Spielberg's West Side Story.
Yeah.
Now, neither of us have watched this movie. I have seen the original, but you have not.
I don't think so. It's very possible that I saw the original movie in middle school. I don't remember it though.
Music class, one of those things they put on the TV.
Or literature, some kind of literature, language arts type of thing. I honestly do not know. It's possible that I've seen it. I do not remember.
Okay, so this is our second remake that we're watching.
Yeah.
But of course, this is also based on a stage play, a stage musical.
Yeah.
So the adaptation, I'm assuming, is going to be pretty similar to the original adaptation film, as well as the musical. So Trent, overall about West Side Story, what do you know?
So I know the overall story. It's based in New York. I don't know what borough, but it is a clash between two different groups of people, two ethnic groups, if you want to call it that. I don't know if this is going to be a period piece, if it's going to be set back in the 60s.
I'm assuming so based on the trailer.
Sure. And it's Puerto Ricans and New Yorkers, let's say, of varying ethnicities and backgrounds.
Yeah, I don't think it's any specific group like the Italians or anything like that. I think it's just New York gang.
Native New Yorkers
Yes.
who have beef with these groups coming into New York City and taking over, in their words.
Yep.
And there are different rival gangs, I guess you could call them, street toughs, where I think one group is called, the Jets and the Sharks?
Yep.
And we have these star-crossed lovers. I do not know their names, but I do know it is starring our friend Ansel Elgort.
Yeah, and that's kind of the only big name, quote unquote, in this movie. This is pretty well unknown.
And I know one of the original people from the original movie, Rita Moreno, is also in the movie. I don't know what she's playing.
Yeah, so
but I know she's in it.
In the original movie, there is a guy who owns a store. It's an older man.
Okay.
And they've adapted it a little bit, and she's playing that role.
Okay, all right.
So they kind of reconfigured it. So
she's the wise old person who is giving advice, maybe.
Yes. So she won Best Supporting Actress.
Okay.
And so I think you're aware that there's a lot of chat about Ariana DeBose, who is up for Best Supporting Actress for this movie.
So Rita Moreno played the girl in the original?
Yes, that's the character. So that's why it's kind of an interesting thing, because she won, and there's a really good chance that she's going to win this year.
Yeah, so and it's for Best Actress?
Supporting.
Just supporting, okay.
Yes. Obviously, you're saying star-crossed lovers. Can you make an assumption about the source material this was adapted from?
Oh, let's just say, I don't know, a certain Shakespeare play.
A certain Shakespeare play that ends so well for everybody.
Of course.
So, yeah, that's another piece that you can kind of apply for what you know or what you can assume is going to happen.
I also know it's a musical.
It is a musical, Trent. This is our second musical that we've watched in recent memory, but the only one that's nominated for Best Picture this year.
Correct.
I don't really think there's any people that you and I are going to really recognize.
Probably not.
Fairly unknown actors. I don't know that they have changed the storyline dramatically. I think there's more Spanish in this. So the original one from the 60s is all in English.
Yeah.
But they did a tour a few years ago, and I saw a performance of it that came through town, and there's a lot more Spanish. They translate the lyrics to be a little more fitting for people who are from Puerto Rico.
Sure.
So I think that's probably going to be a change. Rita Moreno being in what is traditionally a male character, that's a change. Other than that, I don't know if there's going to be really drastic differences.
Okay. So I've got a question for you. So you've seen the musical on stage.
Yes.
And you've also seen the original movie.
Yes.
Do you like those?
Yes. I think it's Stephen Sondheim. I've gone on and on about Stephen Sondheim. This is one of his earlier forays, one of his big first I'm now getting recognition for my work kind of projects.
Sure.
And these are iconic songs. There's probably going to be stuff in this musical that you don't realize is from West Side Story. We were watching the trailer earlier, and of course they're playing Tonight, and you're like, is that from this musical?
Yeah.
Yes, it is, Trent.
Right.
So if you've heard the song Tonight, that's where it's from. And America, you know that one.
Uh-huh.
And I know there's probably at least a couple more that you just don't realize you know from this musical.
Do you think that those original materials, do you think that there's any like problematic things in those that they maybe would have cleaned up for this one?
There are definitely some story points that they may have changed slightly.
Yeah, because even from the trailer, like the white guys who are representing one of the sides, quote unquote, they're basically implying that, oh, these damn dirty Puerto Ricans and Irish are coming into our backyard and taking over our jobs and our shops and whatever else.
Well, that's the thing. They can adapt it to be even, quote unquote, worse, but more appropriate for the times that we live in, because race is always a problem.
Absolutely.
Like race wars, racism.
Yeah.
And I think that they'll probably find a way to bring that into a more modern conversation in this movie.
I hope so, because you can't just take something from the 60s that, I mean, the star-crossed lovers thing is gonna be a part of this no matter what era you're in, and two people from two different backgrounds and races and whatever else is always gonna be a touchy point until it isn't.
Right.
And here we are 2022 and it's still a thing.
Right. So yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how they modernize this movie. I really don't know much more than that, so let's just get to it. We're gonna go watch West Side Story, and we will be right back. And we're back. So that was West Side Story as interpreted by Steven Spielberg.
Mr. Spielberg.
Mr. Spielberg to you and his friends.
Indeed.
What did you think, Trent?
That was really well done.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think you and I are going to have very different perspectives about this movie simply because I have a point of reference and you don't, so I'm very interested in your opinions on this.
And I'm going to rely on you to really have that extra perspective back to the original. Well, not necessarily the original source material, but to the musical and to the previous movie.
Right. So I liked this one. I was kind of not that invested for a lot of it. I was just like, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. By the end, like the last third, that was when I was really getting engrossed in what was going on. Yeah. So by the end, I was into it. Overall, I think I was kind of in the middle about this one.
Kind of meh.
Yeah, it's not a bad movie. Yeah. I think it was actually, in a lot of ways, very good. And it is different from the other one in that songs are in a different order, different actors, different characters are singing them.
We'll get to that.
So it definitely made it its own. This is a new interpretation.
All right.
So what did you immediately like that was well executed about this one?
I think the energy of all of the actors and the way everybody's interacting with each other, it was just go, go, go. Like, this is kind of a long movie. Yes. Most musicals are, but it kept me engaged. And you said that you weren't really invested. I kind of got invested pretty early.
Okay.
Because again, I don't think I've seen this. Now that I've seen it, I don't think I've seen the original.
It wasn't ringing any bells.
Nada. So I am definitely coming in completely fresh. Overall, like we said in the intro, it's the story is what it is. It's Shakespearean.
It is Romeo and Juliet.
It is just Romeo and Juliet, and there is a tragic end.
Yes. So it's slightly different than the source material,
right.
But people die.
She's threatening to have it be like that way.
Right.
Yeah. So
not everyone makes it through this.
Right. And like of the people that we've seen in it, I think Ansel Elgort has some potential to be that it actor later on. I don't think he's there yet. I think he did a pretty good job, though.
I was actually pleasantly surprised by Ansel Elgort.
Yeah.
I was like, why are we trying to make this a thing?
We've
Can
been
he
saying
even
that.
sing?
We've been saying that for a while, and before we started watching it, it's like, well, we're gonna find out how Ansel Elgort sings.
I thought he had a pleasant voice.
Yeah, it didn't blow me away.
I don't think he's an amazing singer, but he's a good singer.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, he can carry the songs that he was
That
given
he
in
needed
this movie.
to. Right.
Yes.
Maria, however, blew me away.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sopranos are a different beast, Trent.
Yeah.
This coming from the alto.
Right. This very petite person.
Oh yeah.
Has got some pipes.
Yes, she is this like considering Ansel Elgort is 6'3".
Yes.
And he is very tall compared to her. She's probably 5 feet tall. She's got this enormous soprano voice, and it's just crystal clear and beautiful.
Yeah.
And yeah, I get it. Like, she's very good. And this is her first big movie. I don't think
She even got an introducing credit.
Did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a big deal for her. And I know that a couple of people have said that she's the best Maria they've ever seen.
Okay.
So high praise.
I mean, not only the
corners.
singing, but I think the acting was really good with her. Mm-hmm. I think the actress who played Anita.
Yep, that's Ariana DeBose.
Yeah.
So she's the one who is nominated for Best Supporting Actress, and she's been winning, like,
All right.
everything.
All right.
So she's kind of the front runner right now.
Okay. She's very impressive as well. Mm-hmm. The rest of everybody else, not so much, but they didn't really need to do a lot more.
I think they were doing exactly what was necessary of them.
Yeah, they're the filler actors. They're the ones who get to do the fun song at the cop shop where they're just kind of wrecking shop in there while all the cops are away. Mm-hmm. That was a good sequence there. I like that. And you said it in the intro. There are at least one song here. I had no idea.
We're from West Side Story.
We're from West Side Story. The I Feel Pretty. I had no idea.
I was honestly starting to think that wasn't even going to be in this movie.
Oh, you can't not have that.
Well, here's the thing. In the original movie, it's way near the beginning, or at least the middle. It's way at the end of this one.
Yeah.
So I was just about to give up on it showing up at all.
Yeah.
Because it was in a very different place than I'm used to.
Yeah.
But yes, you definitely knew that one. Did you know Somewhere?
No.
You didn't know that one?
There are a few that I knew. So America is one that I knew, and I knew Tonight.
And you knew I Feel Pretty, you just didn't know it was from
I had no
West Side
idea.
Story.
I didn't know it was from this musical at all.
Yes, it is.
And you can probably count on one hand how many songs came out of musicals that just become a cultural thing, and it's like another pop song that people know.
It became a pop song. It becomes a standard.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a few of those out there, especially from this era.
Yeah.
You know, things like My Favorite Things from The Sound of Music. That's a big, out of context song.
I guess like Stuff from Grease.
Yeah.
Is another one.
Yep. There's every once in a while.
Yeah, it breaks out and becomes its own thing.
Absolutely. So one thing this movie very obviously does better than its predecessor. The actors who are playing Puerto Ricans are, in fact, people of color and Hispanic actors.
Okay.
Versus the original one, where Maria is played by Natalie Wood.
Ah.
So, not a Hispanic actress.
No.
And Bernardo is played by George Chakiris, who I think is Greek. So it's not, but they're literally doing like brown face. Like they're doing a lot of heavy tanned makeup.
Okay.
And watching it when I was a kid, I didn't notice that. Yeah. Watching it now, I'm like, ooh,
boy.
Ooh. Like when we get the 4K restoration, I'm going to really be looking at them going, ooh, we really did that in the 60s.
Yeah. And like I said in the intro, I'm really curious to hear from you, like what got changed. And it's more over not necessarily the sequence of events or where the songs are placed, but like what did they find in the original content that, maybe we should maybe tweak that a little bit to make it better for modern audiences?
I haven't seen the original in a long time, so nothing jumped out immediately. There are some things I noticed they did consistently, though. So in the first big song, when they're singing about being a jet, when you're a jet, you're a jet all the way.
Yeah.
They say buggin' when what they mean is fucking.
Yep.
And in the original song, Stephen Sondheim wrote fuck.
Yeah.
Like, and they say shit. Like, they say spit hits the fan.
They did say spit hits the fan early on, but they did say shit during the Rumble.
In the Rumble, yes, which is why I'm just like, why did you make that change? Or like, during Dear Officer Krupke, which you like that song, Dear Officer Krupke, Krupp you. You really think that was the lyric?
No.
No. So it's...
There was also a lyric changed, I feel like, in the first song, where it should have been a fuck, but it wasn't.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, because the original musical had those words in it. If you went on Broadway, you would have been challenged and shocked because you were using actual language that people use.
Yeah.
Versus the movies, where we were still in the Hays Code and you really didn't say those things on screen. And so they edited them, and I don't know if I'm surprised or not surprised that they kept it that way, because we're talking about Steven Spielberg here. And when you think back on his body of work, swearing is not a frequent thing.
It's not, and also this is helped produced by Disney. Disney owns the production company now.
True.
That put this out. They own it. It is. We were talking about it at the very beginning. This is not 20th Century Fox anymore. They bought out all of Fox's production houses. It is now 20th Century Studios.
Yeah.
So, again, Disney is calling the shots, and Disney is trying to be as clean as you possibly can.
That's fair. And because this is now streaming on Disney Plus, and the way we've seen them kind of edit other things, that actually contextually makes a lot of sense. So I kind of wish that wasn't the case. I really sort of was hoping for a little bit more grittier take on this musical. And I think there some points of it were.
It definitely was, because you can't just look at the language, because language is an art tool that it just gives emphasis to things.
Right, but it bothered me that it's just like buggin'. It's 2022 and we say buggin' ever lovin' street. Like it felt like watching, Snakes on a Plane on cable.
Right.
What is the line? These mother flipping snakes on the mother bugging plane or something.
There's like 5 different versions of the cleaned up version.
But that's what I'm saying. It's so stupid that it just completely takes you out of what you're watching.
Yeah, especially if you know that it got changed.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't like that either. I don't like that self-censorship stuff, but if it means that you can have the song as opposed to not have the song, I'd rather have the song.
I know. It's just a sticking point with me, because
it's
like, I wish in 2022 that you weren't under the reins of Disney and keeping it cleaner.
Right. And I will say, they did cover the topics. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but they covered the race topics in full. Like they had all the lyrics about, being white in America, and how it's so much better if you are white in America.
And they use all the terms, like all the slang.
All the slurs as well.
The slurs, yeah. And so it's just a strange choice.
Yeah, like how you are allowed to say the word spick in a thing like this, but you can't say the word fuck.
Right.
Or only say shit once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just an odd choice. I don't know. And again, like I said, it's also probably to some extent Steven Spielberg, because think about his stuff that you've watched in the last 10 or whatever years. With the exception of maybe Saving Private Ryan, that one is heavy on the cursing.
Sure.
But that's also contextually that kind of a movie.
He was going for realism there.
He was going for realism. And this is Steven Spielberg realism. This is not real realism.
Right.
I will say this movie looked great.
Yeah.
this is lit beautifully. The lighting is very cool, very interesting. There's some very interesting shots throughout the movie. So that was the thing I kept noticing.
Yep.
But again, it was kind of clean. It was cleaner, brighter,
This was
warmer.
controlled to hell.
Yes.
So everything is meticulously lit and set. Now, clearly, this is all a set.
Except it wasn't. They filmed in New York. We talked about this when we watched In the Heights. They were filming this movie and In the Heights like 6 blocks from each other, to the point that they were sharing a catering.
And what I mean by that is for the scenes that I knew were on a set, like the apartments and whatever. Those shots were very, very controlled, and like the shot that I wrote down that was the most impressive to me is when Ansel is outside just singing his Maria song, which, by the way, stalkerish much? He's just singing the word Maria, saying that the word Maria over and over again to whoever might be listening out their window, and it just happens to be her window.
Trent, a few episodes I seem to recall you bringing up a story about Romeo and Juliet when you were in high school.
That's right.
And convincing people how these two young lovers are too young to be in love. This is the same fucking story. So It is
the same story,
He
but
has met her for 12 seconds and he's madly in love with her. He's crazy.
Yeah. He's very crazy.
She's also crazy.
Yes.
You met him yesterday.
They're also older than Romeo and Juliet were.
A little bit.
A few years, at
Not
least.
enough. Not enough.
Not enough. I agree with you. I'm not going back on my opinion.
But yes,
about that.
anyway, you were saying there's a cool shot.
There's a very cool shot of him outside of her window. He doesn't know it's her window, but there's a cool shot of him like he's walking through puddles. There's a lot of puddles in this whole movie, by the way. Just a lot of standing water in general. But there's a shot of him kind of overhead where there's reflections of all the like street lights kind of surrounding him. The reflections in the puddle, and his head is there. It's really cool shot.
Ripples and
yes, and he had just walked through it. There's ripples everywhere. That shot looked amazing.
I thought that one was really cool. I really liked the one like the next morning when they're in the apartment and Anita is like hanging up these kind of silks to dry, and Bernardo is talking to her through the silks, and there's light coming through and there's shadows, but you can also see her. That was a cool shot. When they go to the museum later and there's stained glass windows shining light.
All the diffused light coming through,
Or like at the dance, they're underneath the bleachers and there's just little pockets of light getting through.
Little slivers of light coming through the bleachers.
So if I could say anything very positive about this, it is the lighting in this movie. And it was very strategic and very cool. And there were moments like that, you said, all throughout this movie where you really caught just a certain shot, a certain sequence. And there's also like in America, when they're doing that song and they're out on the street, every inch of that frame has something going on.
Oh, 100%. I wrote down, like, it's that song and the stuff in the gym of them dancing. The frame is filled with people dancing.
Yes.
Usually it's just, okay, here's a pocket, here's a pocket. There are just arms just
chaos.
flinging everywhere. It is just completely chaotic. But at the same time, when Tony and Maria first lock eyes, the camera is just tracking them as they're kind of slowly moving. And all of this chaotic dancing is still happening in the foreground, but they're perfectly in focus in the background. It's really, really well done.
So that is something straight out of the original movie.
Is it? Okay.
That's the same. And one of the questions you had asked me was about the choreography.
Yeah.
So the original musical was directed and choreographed by a guy called Jerome Robbins. And I recently just saw a production of Fiddler on the Roof that he also directed and choreographed that.
All right.
And it's very expressive dancing. It is full body, this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
In this movie, they use a lot of it, but it's like an interpretation. So somebody took Jerome Robbins' choreography and adapted it. So it's not quite so jazzy. It's not quite as tight. It's a little more free and loose. and they do change some things. And because they change who's singing what songs and what's going on with the story in this song, they did change the choreo significantly, I think, but you could still see moments, and dance is really a good example where that's a lot of the original choreo.
Okay.
The base, the skeleton is very much familiar to me.
Because, like, while we were watching it, I was asking you, I was like, okay, is this all the same thing? You even mentioned, like, oh, this is a really long shot. I figured we were going to get a much, much longer shot, but that's not really what Spielberg does.
No, that's not his trick. There's a lot of directors who like to do that. He's not one of them.
He's really not. He likes to edit his films. But I asked, hey, are they like dancing at each other like aggressively in the original? And yeah, I guess they are.
Absolutely. So yeah, that shot of everybody kind of running towards each other and past each other while the two of them are standing still.
Right.
That is in the original. And I think that's probably also how they stage it on stage too. I haven't seen it on stage in a long time.
That'd be really hard to do.
Not as hard as you'd think.
Unless they're like at either end of like right and left on stage, and then everything is happening in the middle.
Right.
And they're just kind of slowly walking towards each other as the chaos happens in between them.
Yes, you kind of reveal them, and then everybody backs off while they become the focal point.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. Anytime there's things that are stationary, that's what your eyes are looking at in the sea of chaos.
Right.
Like, I saw a video when I was in college of these people tossing basketballs around, and it said, how many times do they pass the basketball? And at the end, they say, okay, the number was this, but did you see the moonwalking bear? And if you watched it back, because you were so focused on all of the stuff going on around, you didn't even see this dude walk right through the center. So yeah, your eye only sees what it's supposed to see.
Right. And the same thing happening in the America song, them on the street, and it's possible that you could have even not noticed this, but when Bernardo is like kind of chasing her down the street, and then on either side there's like some poofy dresses or like some silk stuff, and people are like literally popping their heads out of these things.
They're concealed and then leaving.
Right. You could have completely missed that, but because it is punctuated by the music, it makes it better because your mind has a split second break from everything happening.
Yes.
Yeah.
What else is different about this one? So there's a lot more Spanish, obviously, in this.
Yeah.
And if memory serves, I think Lin-Manuel Miranda had some hand in this. I want to say, and I'm going to have to look this up after we finish recording, that he helped with some of the Spanish for this movie.
Okay.
Cannot confirm, but that's sounding familiar.
I hadn't heard that, but okay.
Well, and I was kind of expecting more Spanish in the songs. Like, I was thinking that, like, during America, they would have more lyrics in Spanish.
Sure.
But not in this version. And I think in some stage versions you will get that, but not in this one. So the dialogue is certainly in Spanish. The screenplay, like the different scenes with the different dialogue, this is pretty updated. This is very different. So like the opening sequence when they're all kind of talking to the cop, that wasn't super familiar. There's like a scene like that, but it kind of disperses quickly. They don't all stand around talking to the cop. They're just talking to each other.
Sure.
The whole scene where, you know, Maria and Tony have a date. They don't have a date in the original movie. There's no date. They go straight from hello to let's get married.
Right, let's run off together.
Yeah, he meets her at the dress shop where he works, or she works, excuse me. Yeah, so it's little touches like that. And obviously, as I mentioned, Doc's pharmacy.
Yeah.
We get Valentina instead of Doc. And she is Puerto Rican, and her husband was white.
Right.
So that's different.
He is not around anymore.
No. Yeah. So she is the elder in this content.
Right.
And she got to sing
She got a song.
somewhere. She doesn't sing that. That character doesn't sing at all in the original movie, and I don't even think in the show. That's another song that Tony and Maria sing to each other.
Okay.
But it's more all-encompassing when the woman who originated that role. I just kept thinking about that, like when they have the rape sequence.
Yeah.
Where she is standing face to face with Ariana DeBose. And it's just like, you're literally staring down your past right now as an actress. And that's wild.
Yeah.
Because this is a role that she got very famous for. Rita Moreno was a big deal back in these days. And she made this movie 60 years ago.
Right.
So for her to show up in this movie at all is amazing.
It really is, and the fact that they gave her so much to do, they gave her her own song, they made her an essential part of the movie, I think.
They developed that character more.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Because she is the one who is helping out and bridging the gaps between the two groups to a point.
I think there's a lot more baseline understanding. So there's not such the Puerto Ricans versus the New Yorkers completely. Like in the original one, that's it. Like we don't cross these lines.
Sure.
In this one, you've got like when Tony shows up to the Rumble, Chino helps him.
Yeah.
And Tony and Valentina have known each other for years, and she is kind of a pillar of the community, as it were.
Right.
And there's just these little moments where it's not so bad. Like, why are we all fighting?
Yeah.
We all have these connections. What's the big deal? So they kind of sprinkle that throughout this one a little bit more than having it cut and dry. And Valentina even says, you know, with all of the boys in the Jets, I've known you all. I know every single one of your names since you were kids.
Right. I've known you since you were kids, when you were born. And I've just watched you grow up and grow into what you've become. And it's not great.
No. And they even say, like, this isn't about race. This is about, like, our turf. And it's kind of that extension of when tensions are high, you're looking for somebody to blame.
Oh, yeah. I got a whole thing about that whole thing, but go on.
So, yeah, they start the movie with their whole neighborhood is being torn down.
Yes.
Which, again, very different from the original.
Okay, what's the original?
So the original opens with just shots of New York. So you get that little whistle tone, but it's just overhead shots of the city.
Yeah.
And this one, it's dilapidation and ruin.
Yeah, it's like the slums, what they call the slums, got burned the fuck down, and they're going to tear it all down and put in Lincoln Center.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we're talking, this is like the early 50s.
I think they said it was 1957.
Something like that. Yeah, it's the 1950s.
Yes.
But yeah, that's different, and so it kind of plants the seeds of why are these gangs fighting?
Right.
Versus, I don't like brown people.
And it is that, but it's a lot more than that. Really, the overarching problem here is gentrification. And it's a big topic to get into. I don't want to get into that topic, but that's the overhanging thing. It's a bunch of rich people taking advantage of a tragedy of these buildings burning down and them not being able to rebuild. Guess what? A bunch of rich white people are going to kick out the poor white people and poor brown people. Mm-hmm. It's just how it's going to be. So by doing this, they're pitting the poor people against each other.
Right.
When in reality, they should be fighting against the rich assholes.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a common theme here, guys.
Yes. Yes. And Tony kind of talks about it in the first scene where he's introduced. He went to jail after he beat somebody up and almost killed him.
Again, there's more context there. That's not in the original.
Okay, well, we'll get to that. He's talking about he's learned that these people are really no different from us, and Riff is also there, kind of giving away the game here. He's basically saying, Riff is saying this, I don't really care. I just don't like them. They're the ones taking over our shops and our neighborhood and taking over our territory and blah, blah, blah. It's them against us. It is the other. Mm-hmm. And it is and you could apply this kind of attitude to shit happening today.
Yes.
It is the other. Whoever it is isn't like you. And you can have everything in the world in common with them as far as like economic struggles and other related things. But because society is telling you that they're the ones who are causing you the problems, that's who you need to take out your aggression on, and not looking outside of that and figuring out where your true enemy lies.
Yeah.
And Tony got that while he was in prison. Like, these guys, I got no problem with these guys in particular. Like, what I did to that other kid was for nothing. He's just a kid just like I am. I could have been on the other end of that just like anybody else. What we're doing here is stupid. And Riff kind of knows that, but he doesn't know anything else.
Yeah.
That's the big problem. they're all being evicted here. All of them. And they reveal towards the end of the movie, right before the I Feel Pretty thing, they're all getting $500 to get kicked out.
To get the hell out.
Yeah. That's their stipend to go somewhere else and live. Doesn't matter where you go, you just can't stay here. Mm-hmm. Which is a pittance as to how much money these developers, these landowners, these whoever are going to make off of this land.
Absolutely.
So
luxury high rises.
Yes, you're getting it. So that's kind of where I'm coming from on this movie. I wish they would have dug into that a little bit more, but again, this is a remake, not a reimagining.
It is and it isn't. So like I said, there's a lot of things that they definitely changed to try to bring it more into the modern times, and they've given it some more depth and reasons why people are doing this, like you were just saying. Right.
So what's the deal with Tony? Did they have the back? You saying that he didn't have the backstory of him going to jail?
I do not recall.
Or like being on parole?
Anybody ever saying anything about Tony being in prison. I think Tony just finally decided, I've had enough of being a thug and I want to grow up.
Okay. So that gives it a little bit more context as to why he's thinking this.
Right. And here he just straight up says, I almost beat a guy to death and it was only Providence that he lived.
Right.
And I can't do that again. Like when he starts kicking the crap out of Bernardo, he stops himself because he goes right back to that moment.
Totally.
And he almost loses himself again. That again is a little different where he starts the fight with Bernardo. But in the original, I don't think he does. I think he kind of backs off and it's Riff who really gets things going.
Right.
Maybe I'm misremembering that. But the rest of it plays out the same way. So Riff gets stabbed and dies.
Yep.
And Tony kills Bernardo. And then Chino takes the gun and goes after Tony.
Yeah.
And then Maria gets her big speech at the end. So those beats, those are all the same.
Okay.
It's just how we got there.
Yeah.
There's also a character, and I was asking you because I was trying to figure out if you had noticed this character.
Yeah.
There's a character named Anybody's, and that's the street name. They're just sort of in the background. Like, you see them on screen, but you don't really know why you're looking at this person. There is one character who is not part of the gang but wants to be.
Yes.
And in the original text, they're written as it's like a tomboy, a girl.
A girl who is boyish.
Right, who just wants to be part of the gang.
Yeah.
And in this one, she has a big speech where she says, I'm not a girl. So I almost kind of think that this is a more deliberate...
I'm no girl is what they say.
This is more deliberate, like, non-binary they, in the very least, if not he, than anything else. They don't go all the way there.
Yeah.
Because you're still restrained by 1957.
You're also restrained by 2022.
You're also restrained by 2022.
And Disney is a lot better than what they used to be.
Yes.
But they get backlash on this shit.
But I felt like they kind of drew a little bit of a line in the sand with that character in this one.
They did.
More so than other iterations I've seen. It's more defined that I am not a girl.
Right.
What they are...
That's not
stated.
Yeah, that's not addressed.
But I think it's more appropriate to say they than she.
Yes.
In this context.
Yeah.
Which is a very modern thing to put into this musical that's 60 plus years old.
Right.
That was an interesting detail.
Yeah.
For this version.
I agree with you. And, the depictions of tomboyishness have existed since Westerns. That's been around for a long time.
Tough girls and stuff.
Right. Think about True Grit. That whole thing. I mean, we're not talking about any kind of like trans thing there, but, tomboy, boyish girls, whatever you want to call it, that concept has been a sensitive topic that isn't really addressed all that well. It's never addressed well. I think if you're going to do it in this context where there is a pre-existing character who is this way, and bring that into a more modern era.
Push it.
Yeah, just push it as much as you can with the limitation of, hey, it's 1957.
Yep. There's also better diversity of the, for lack of a better phrase, the skin tone in this movie. You actually have Black Puerto Ricans and Hispanic Puerto Ricans.
Yep.
Versus, I know that we talked about it in the Heights. People were upset at the lack of diversity of these Hispanic people in New York.
Yeah.
And I think this movie maybe didn't go far enough, but it certainly went farther.
Yeah.
Because Ariana DeBose is the only person I noticed on screen who is actually black. Mm-hmm. So.
There were some background characters.
Okay, that's good, because there were
absolutely background characters during some of the musical numbers outside.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, because I did not notice them, and certainly of the main crew, there weren't too many.
The main crew is just her.
Okay. All right, interesting. Another character thing that changes. Maria kisses Tony.
Yeah.
That's a very forward move.
Yeah.
She just kind of goes in, and he's very surprised by that.
And it's very awkward, too.
Yeah, he almost falls over.
Yeah, she kind of like goes right in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that is a more, like, she's not such a demure teenager.
No.
Like, I'm so shy, and I can only meet the boys my brother introduces me to.
Right, and her thing, she's not really into Chino. She doesn't really want to be set up with Chino.
Chino's a nerd.
Chino's a big nerd. He repairs adding machines.
Oh, boy.
He's going to get rich.
But
you know how many adding machines there are in New York City?
But her brother's trying to set her up with a guy who's going places because he knows that everybody around him is not.
Sure. And that's a big topic, too. We'll get to that. But, yeah, like, she wants a boy. She wants a boyfriend.
Yeah.
And she got one.
And she made the first move.
Yeah.
Again, different. Mm-hmm. So they were trying to make this their own. The screenwriter took some chances and made some changes. Good changes.
I guess that's about all the differences. I think you covered most everything.
I'm thinking of them as we move along, so if there's any other distinct ones, I'll bring them up.
Okay. I wanted to mention some of the like side characters. Like, I had heard that Corey Stoll was in this movie.
I had not.
We love Corey Stoll in this house. He is the detective, or the lieutenant.
Yes.
He's the guy at the beginning of the movie that kind of walks in with the badge on his chest. He's in the suit. So Corey Stoll, we know him from House of Cards. The first thing we saw him in was that show off of Netflix. The first, I think, 2 seasons he's in that. Dude is great.
He's also one of those guys that just sort of shows up places lately. Uh-huh. Like, he's on that show Billions now.
Yep. He was in the original Ant-Man.
I actually saw him in a movie that predated House of Cards, but I didn't know it until afterwards.
Of course.
Because I was like, who's that guy? Yeah. Oh, yes, that guy.
It's weird to see him with hair.
It is always weird to see him with hair. He's a very bald man.
He's a very bald
Tall
man.
and bald.
But he was really good in this.
And then Officer Krupke is played by Brian Darcy James.
Yes.
Who I've brought up on this podcast before, I believe. He is another Broadway star. He's been in many musicals. But the thing you know him from is he's on the crew in Spotlight. He's one of the investigators.
He's the dude with the mustache.
He is the dude with the mustache. Yeah, he shows up in different movies from time to time. Mm-hmm. And with or without the mustache, he's usually on the side like this, and he's easy to miss.
Right, and I wouldn't have recognized him if you didn't say so.
Well, I knew you knew who he was, so that's why I said it.
Okay, all right. There was one other person I wanted to ask you about. Who was the woman at the cop shop who, like, locked herself in the cage after the cops all left? What's up with that?
I don't think that was anybody I recognized. I think she was a prostitute, though.
Okay.
That was my assumption.
Okay.
But she was just like, I don't want to be sitting with you boys anymore. I'm going to go sit in here
also
now.
A convenient way to get her off of the floor as they do their floor number.
Yes, they needed to, as you said, wreck shop.
Yeah.
And she was going to be in the way, so she needed to go somewhere else. Plot point.
Right. And I think that let's talk about that song. I assume that is pretty much the same as what it was.
Again, it's that thing in the original musical where that song actually is used in a really strange place. That song shows up after the rumble and people die. They have this big happy number. And then the other song that was in Keep It Cool Boys, Real Cool, that jazzy song is the one in the movie that takes place after the Rumble. So again, they've moved things around.
Yeah, that's like super out of the tone. Like,
yes.
Like, how are you going to have a little jazzy number like that and a song about how the fact that all of them are just kind of fucked up and come from fucked up situations?
Right, this kind of funny, joyous, funny little song. It's very weird. So they used it in a better spot here, and this is more akin to the other movie, where it's just having fun.
In context, they all get brought in for questioning because the cops all want to know where the Rumble's going to be so they can stop it.
Yep, and they all play dumb.
Of course. But yeah, it's them just talking about themselves in that, my dad's a drunk, my mom is on drugs or whatever else.
I was alone as a child, and I know I could be good.
So guess what? I'm gonna join a gang because that's the only stability that I can get. These people got my back. My family doesn't.
That's a common story why people join gangs even now. They come from bad backgrounds and they're not bad people, but they need somebody to look after them.
Right.
And they fall in line with kind of other troubled people who end up in gangs.
And it's shown at the first meeting of the cops and the two gangs together. Like, Riff is the leader of the Jets, and he's out there protecting his people. And like talking back to the cops and like being that tough guy in front of the cops to protect him against whatever bullshit charge they're going to try to throw at him. So, yeah, I get that.
Yeah. And these kids are all like skinny and dirty greasers.
Yeah, it is the definition of the whole 50s greaser thing.
Absolutely.
But more New York.
New York.
And you mentioned the Be Cool song. Like, okay, let's kind of back up a little bit here about the dancing. The dancing was distracting to me. I understand it's a musical, and there's going to be singing and dancing.
You mean in that song in particular?
In that song in particular, of them at the dock, the busted up dock, like having this like keep away game.
They were dance fighting, Trent.
It was keep away.
Yes.
Of them just kind of dancing around. Like during the song, I'm okay with, but like at the very end, Riff is just standing by himself in front of Tony, and just like doing a number by himself. Like there wasn't any music going on. He's just kind of dancing there. Why? What?
Because to join their gang, you need 7 years of jazz dance. Yeah, I don't know. That, as I said, that song is in the timeline in this movie at a different place. It is performed by different people. Neither of those actors or those characters are in that song in the 60s version.
And I get
that. It's the rest of the gang.
And I think it works because Tony is there to diffuse the situation. And he does this before the Rumble happens, because he also shows up to the Rumble to defuse the situation there. It doesn't work. But he shows up because Riff has a gun. And that is a sign that things are about to escalate. And he doesn't want it to go that far. Because if it does, he's going to blame himself.
Right. I think the thing that probably bothers you is that Ansel Elgort is 6'3" and trying to dance. And he was okay, but there were moments where it's like, you are not a trained dancer,
There were also moments that didn't even look like him, so I don't know if he had a body double in there or what. Maybe. But it's very possible.
Maybe. I think everybody else was a dancer.
Right. And I first noticed the whole dancing thing at the very beginning, before anybody starts talking. By the way, did you notice that? The first 5 minutes in the movie, there's zero dialogue.
Consistent. That is the way it is.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, they're just kind of doing a little vignette.
Sure.
And they're setting the scene.
Right, and I understand all that, but like these street tops going around being very flamboyant and like, you get what I'm saying here.
I do.
It's very strange. It's off-putting when these guys are supposed to be these tough guys and they're just waving their arms around and kicking.
That's the whole musical, Trent.
I know.
That's the whole thing.
I know.
So again, it's that if this was in 1957 to 1961, the movie came out in 61.
Yeah.
and these are real dancers doing real dancing.
Absolutely.
And, some of them are chorus boys, okay? But by the end, they stop dancing altogether. That's the thing about this movie is it's these big musical numbers full of intricate dancing, and by the end it turns into just singing. Like you were really remarking on the song that Anita and Maria have, where Maria is just singing her heart out and the two of them are singing together. Then it's all just kind of quiet. There's not a lot of background music. It gets very emotional. Tony, like when Valentina tells Tony that Maria is dead. That look that washes over his face. Like, it's
agony.
It's agony. And then, everything is just very quiet. There's no more singing. It's reality has set in, and everybody starts dying.
And I'm going to get a little analytical here. The dancing has to do, like we talked about it during the gym scene at the dance. The dancing toward each other, being aggressive, that's the whole posturing thing of saying, I'm better than you are.
Dancing is storytelling, Trent.
It is. And by that time, there's no dancing anymore. In fact, everybody comes together to pick up Tony and bring him away. So I guess after the Rumble, they've proven themselves insofar as they wanted to show up and show how tough they are. Even so afterwards, they go to the boxing ring and Chino shows up. And Chino's just saying, you know what? All this bullshit about us posturing, it's all bullshit. It's stupid. Bernardo was a fool for doing this. Like, what do you have to prove, dude? Like, you're defending your sister's honor. Who cares? She wants to be with him. Let him be together. What's the problem? And there was also what you just mentioned, the song with Anita and Maria, of Anita saying, "Stay with your own kind. Go find another boy," and Maria is pushing back on that, saying, "I don't care. I love him anyway. He's a murderer. I love him anyway." And by the end of that song, it's a long sequence. By the end of that, they're accepting of each other's situation. Because Maria is trying to convince Anita, you should have known better. You knew this was going to happen. You knew who you married, essentially. They weren't married, but you knew who you were with. And it was going to come to this anyway.
If not him, somebody else, sometime.
Exactly. He was just that hothead who was going to get into some trouble. And he did. And at the same time, Anita says, you know what? I am never going to forgive him, but I do forgive you for loving him. And if you want to be with him, but you can't stay here.
Right. She even tries to help her, but that's when it all goes downhill because, of course, she takes a leap of faith in helping her to be the messenger.
The intention was good, but by the time she got there, nuh-uh.
No, because,
after what they did to her?
Because all of the gang can't see past that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She was there to make peace to a point, to send a message saying, I can't be with you right now, but I will be. And the message just got muddled because of what happened to her.
No, she said, fuck you.
Yeah. Like, no, she's dead.
She's dead.
Stop coming after her.
Yep.
Yeah.
The end.
It was the end for him.
Yes. So, yeah, I think they made a decent adaptation. I'm glad you liked it. Someday I think we will watch the original one.
I would like to see the original one because without that context, I mean, again, I know the story. I know the Shakespeare thing. I know the star-crossed lovers. I get all that stuff. It's just the context in which it was made and presented.
I think I'm going to need to watch this one again to really appreciate it because it's that thing with remakes where I have to get it out, my expectation out of my system because all I do is spend the whole movie looking for the differences.
And comparing them.
And not really appreciating it on its own for what it is. I do think I liked it. Like I said, by the end, I was very invested. I was getting emotional when it was getting very heavy at the end.
Yeah.
But I need to sit with it for a little while just because I have seen the original.
Yeah.
And, it begs the question, like, did we need this remake? I don't know.
That was going to be the last question I was going to ask you, because Spielberg doesn't really do remakes.
No.
But it just seems like this was, and like we might have to read into this a little more, but at the very end it said for Dad. Mm-hmm. Was this like his dad's favorite musical or something?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, it's an unusual choice at this point in his career for someone like Steven Spielberg.
Has he ever done a musical?
No! You kidding me?
I don't know. He's done a lot of movies. I don't know if you know that.
He has not. And it is not out of the realm of the kind of movie I would expect him to make. It just happens to be a musical. If you took the music out of it, this is the kind of movie he would make.
Yeah.
It fits with the rest of his works.
I guess.
The musical element is what is unique about it.
But you know what? It's still well done. Everything that he does seems to be pretty well done.
Yes, he is a meticulous director with a lot of skill.
Yeah, and I think he brought in the right people to make it the best musical it could have been. This is not a movie. This is a musical.
Yes.
And the line can be drawn at a lot of different places. If it's right in the middle, it's neither, and the movie is shit.
Yeah.
If it's over here too much, then you're going to turn off any kind of if it's over too far to the musical thing, you're going to turn off a whole lot of people who are just wanting to enjoy a movie. And if you go too towards the movie portion of it, the people who appreciated the original music and musical will be turned off. The fine line was towed, and I think he pulled it off.
Except that it was not well received, this movie. People said it's really good. They really liked it, but not everybody wanted to see it. It kind of bombed.
Yeah, this movie bombed. For a Steven Spielberg movie, it bombed at the box office.
For a major holiday release, a musical.
Right.
All the factors were there, and they pushed it a whole year because of COVID.
Right.
Just to give it the best chance they could.
To make all the money that it can. But yeah, it just bombed. Nobody really knows why either. And this was like after vaccines, like after everybody started to come out, like fucking Spider-Man was the biggest goddamn movie in the world.
2 weeks or so after this came out.
Right. It's impossible to really figure out why this movie did what it did, but maybe it's just because it's a remake.
Maybe.
Like, why does anybody want to remake
Nobody wants to give it a
classic
chance.
like West Side Story? Mm-hmm. You said it. Do you really think that this movie really needed to be made to be remade by anybody, much less Steven Spielberg?
Right. And it's weird because it's been 60 years. You think I wouldn't care that much.
Is it because that the movie is that well beloved and maybe doesn't need
as I said, it has some problems.
I get that.
So I appreciate the remake for fixing some of the things that maybe were done, that were missteps in the original. But overall, do I need a version of this movie in 2022? I don't know. That's kind of my feeling.
In the end, I think it's a good movie. I enjoyed it. It's not my favorite. It is definitely not my favorite movie of his. It's not my favorite musical. I think In the Heights was done better in some capacities, but I didn't know that property. I knew West Side Story. It's one of these classic tales that has been around for decades.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think In the Heights is very much a modern take on that story.
Fair enough. Well, let's talk about the Academy Awards. So obviously we're watching this because it's nominated for Best Picture.
Yep.
So I'll kind of go over a couple of the other ones.
Best Director.
Best Director, Best Achievement in Cinematography, Best Achievement in Costume Design, Best Sound, Best Achievement in Production Design, and Actress in a Supporting Role.
Okay, let's
it's
take those one by one. Director. Of course, it's Steven Spielberg. He's going to be nominated.
Right, you can't nominate this for Best Picture without bringing him along with you.
Uh-huh.
That's the Steven Spielberg thing. I don't think he'll win.
I don't think he'll win either.
Because he's been nominated many times, and I think he's won once.
Yeah.
So.
Prolific, he is. Great, he is. But is this like a standout performance by him? No.
No. I believe that Ariana DeBose will win. Simply because she's been winning And she's sort of the only front runner in that category.
And I don't really know who else got nominated, other than the mother from King Richard.
And Kirsten Dunst. So there's definitely some people who have put out great performances this year. Just that they're all...
From those that I knew, from those that I've actually seen, I think this one deserves it the most.
Right. She's doing a lot of heavy lifting.
What else we got?
So production design... I still stand by Nightmare Alley on that one.
Oh, if Nightmare Alley does not win that, oh my God, we'll be riding the streets.
I think it's a worthy nomination. Sound is always interesting.
Okay, so sound. So I wrote something down here that there was a moment where we're introduced to Maria in her room. Okay? She's putting on her new dress, and Anita's coming in to help her out with that. There's a train sound in the background going across the tracks. That is an important environmental storytelling thing because they live in a shit neighborhood.
Right next to the train.
Right next to the train. That is an important detail that I think the audience really needs to get through their head.
Yeah.
And that is a great way to just give that little bit of extra.
Well, and another important thing with musicals in particular is depending on how you film it, there's two ways to do a musical. You either do it live, so you play an audio track and they sing live, or you're lip singing. And they did both.
They did mostly lip singing, but they did do both, yes.
Right, but if you're lip singing, you're still picking up audio on the camera while you're filming.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of tricks that have to happen. So sound is very important, and I get that. Like, I understand that nomination.
I do too, and I wanted to bring that up before we got out of here was, the lip singing, it bothered me because I can always tell when it's sung to a track.
Most of the time I couldn't in this one.
I definitely could because it's all the outside scenes, especially that first song of them of all the jets outside.
Okay.
Yeah. It bothered me. Again, the singing is fine. I got no problem with the singing.
Well, the way to make it not look like you're singing is to actually sing.
Right.
But that's hard to do.
It is hard to do.
And talking about the lip singing thing, in the original one, Rita Moreno was overdubbed. She's a singer. She's done Broadway. And during her solo of A Boy Like That, she's actually singing it really aggressively and kind of growling. And the woman they got to overdub isn't doing that. Aww. So it doesn't really look like it matches up.
That sucks.
And I've heard her talk about this and she's like, yeah, I thought I was doing such a great job. And then they overdubbed half the cast in that movie.
That sucks.
Like, I think every one of the leads, their singing was overdubbed. And none of them knew that was happening until later.
Shit.
Yeah. It's a Hollywood thing, especially back in the 60s.
Yeah, and you're going to have a lot of people who are taking license with that stuff.
Right. This is also nominated for costuming. So we'll see.
Fine.
Like, again, it's setting up a world, it's world building. I think it was all well done. I don't know if this is going to win anything.
Ooh.
Except for Best Supporting Actress.
Yeah.
That might be the one thing this wins.
Yeah, because with the only one we didn't mention was cinematography. And again, it's shot well. It might be a dark horse for that one.
Maybe.
But there are better ones out there. Because, again, landscapes. If you want to win a cinematography award...
Go outside.
Go outside and put some fucking landscapes out there. The only scene where there's like natural light is her like walking towards the camera and the sunset is behind her. And it's like peeking out next to her very slender neck. But yes, I think I agree with you. If there's any winners here, it's going to be Best Supporting Actress. Which, again, I'm totally fine with because the other ones, I think she deserved it the most. But anyway. But yes, that's going to be the end of this one. Let's read an email here about a previous Oscar movie that we've covered. This is going to be from Stephanie about Nightmare Alley. We just mentioned it.
We just did.
Yes. Speaking of, she says, this is a ridiculously beautifully shot film. We were kind of on the fence when we initially saw this one because of the ending third. It is so obvious that Cate Blanchett is up to no good, and honestly, I just hated that what Stan had become. Once I had time to sit with the film, because this one did not leave my brain for quite some time, I now appreciate it so much more and pretty much love it. Yeah, we love this one from the get-go.
Yes.
I think it's probably still near my top. I haven't decided on my top yet, but
I also haven't.
We'll get there. But yeah, ooh, I really want to watch that one again, just to look at it.
Eat the scenery.
Yes. Continuing, the cast is fantastic. The production design is incredible. The story and visuals stay with you. Yeah, again, production design, if that doesn't win for that one, and maybe cinematography, yeah. And she's telling us here about what she's been doing. Since I last emailed, I have watched Free Guy on Disney+, Enola Holmes on Netflix, and The Kingsman on Hulu. I want to watch Free Guy because it's a video game movie. I'm into that stuff. I like Ryan Reynolds and his shtick. Because it's always just his shtick.
Yes.
He's just playing Ryan Reynolds in everything he is.
Correct.
Yeah, and that's okay. You can be that way and still have a career. That's okay. I don't know what Enola Holmes is.
It's Millie Bobby Brown is the younger sister of Sherlock Holmes.
Okay. Is she like solving mysteries with him?
No, on her own. She doesn't need the boys.
Okay. Okay, fine. And The Kingsman on Hulu. Yeah. Eventually, we are going to do all the Kingsman movies. I think we bought like the first 2 or 3 movies in a set.
There's only 2, and
is
then
there just
the
2?
prequel.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Eventually, we'll get to those. I think you've seen the first one.
I've seen the first one.
You've seen the first one and you liked it.
Yeah.
So eventually, we will get to see those. And she finishes, with all that is happening in the world, I've been craving a fun, light movie, and those 3 were all good. So, thank you, Stephanie, for that email. I agree. It's nice to be able to sit down and have a little bit of fun with everything going on. So, we appreciate everybody listening with us. We appreciate you emailing in. But, Betsy, we're done with all 10 movies.
Indeed we are.
So the next time you hear from us on a Sunday, it's going to be Oscar Day.
Woohoo!
And the special we will be bringing out is about all 10 movies. Betsy and I will sit down and rank individually our top 10 movies.
Oh yes,
of this Oscar season.
We have our own opinions.
Yes, this is not a homogenized list where we're going to sit down and agree, or we're not going to come together and like have a deliberation.
No, though
we're going.
If it's anything like last year, we may find some things in common.
Probably, we'll see. But that is the next one, so look forward to that. I enjoyed when we did it last year, even though you don't really like to rank things because it. You feel like you're being mean to a movie, even though you liked everything.
No, that's not why. I just don't like having an assignment and then having to stand by it, because I always feel like when we have those discussions, it makes me want to change my whole list.
Yeah. Well, you didn't even decide on your number 1 until the very end.
Pretty much.
After I said what mine was.
Pretty much.
Hopefully this year we'll have a more definitive list going in. So yes, please email us your lists. Now that we've done everything, I don't care if you've seen all 10, just give us the top of whatever you've actually seen.
Or which ones didn't make the cut that you feel are devastating missteps.
Yeah. Like, we watched Tick, Tick, Boom. I agree. That should have been included, and get rid of Licorice Pizza. Anyway, just to give you a preview of where maybe I'm thinking of where that movie's going to be. But anyway, email us at neverseenitpod@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter, neverseenit_pod. And if you want to support the show, click the link in the podcast description. Go to Anchor and throw us $1 if you want. And if you can't do that, just share the podcast with your friends on your socials. Rate us on iTunes, please. I don't think we've been getting a lot of ratings lately, so please go on iTunes and rate us. Please.
Yeah, do that.
Please do that. But yeah, that's all I got.
Perfect. Well, guys, like we said, the next time you hear from us on a Sunday, it's going to be the Oscar special.
Yep.
So listen for that. In the meantime, this has been Never Seen It. I have been Betsy.
And I'm Trent.
And we will see you next time.
Bye-bye.